Tristan with Nerdouts Newsstand, and today we are going to talk about King Spawn and how it has outsold every superhero comic in the 2000s. It's at 500K for pre-orders, with the full order cutoff, or final order cutoff last week. So the pre-orders are at 500,000, right? Yeah, we need to talk about how it got that way. And I want to give some context to people saying how great this is and what it's doing and how amazing. And it's kind of not. It's kind of exactly opposite once you look at the context. And I want to talk about that. But if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe. As always, hit like, leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you checked out the Spawn universe as it was, if you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. It wasn't my favorite thing in the world, but Spawn hasn't been my favorite thing in the world. So for being Spawn, yeah, it was fun. But now we're looking at King Spawn #1. And if you don't know, it is selling like hotcakes. And that's amazing. We've seen this just recently with Berserker. Now, I'm going to bring that up again about Berserker because I actually think it was done better by Keanu Reeves when it comes to these one in, well, his was 1 in 1,000. And Todd McFarlane's is 1 in 250. And that's actually why this has sold so much, because his 1 in 250 is a signed, slabbed, 9.8 CGC certified signed copy. But you have to order 250 copies to get it. And it's $1,000. So if you think about that, every person that pre-orders that copy, that means their shop is ordering 250 copies. So if you are a local shop and you have 4 people pre-order that, you're going to have 1,000 different copies of King Spawn #1 to do what with. A lot of these won't ever see the light of day. A lot of these won't do anything but either sit and get dust on them, or they'll be donated to the local library, or they'll be thrown away. That's really honestly the truth, and that's sad. And that's what the industry is kind of leaning towards lately, is schemes and scams to sell comic books. And it's a shame. We even saw Tinian, who I absolutely love his Batman run, don't get me wrong, but he had a lot of key issues to keep his sales up. You know, seeing Miracle Molly for the first time, or Punchline, or Ghostmaker, or the Gardener. All of these new characters were key issues, so people would buy more of them, and it kept his sales at least relatively steady. And this is a fucking shame. I'm going to say it for what it is. I like Todd McFarlane. He's a smart man, but Todd McFarlane gets what Todd McFarlane wants, and his only concern is Todd McFarlane. And that's a good way to look at it. That's a good way to look at life if that's how you are. And that's perfectly fine. But you have people out here reporting this as this is this great feat. We're doing something great, when really it's just buckling the industry way more. It's super unhealthy for the industry. It is not good. It looks good for sales, but it's not good. So if you look right here, I'll show you the CGC slabbed one. It's got the signature up here. We've got, 9.8 sale up here. You've got the certificate of authenticity. So about 300,000 of these issues were bought for this comic alone, meaning it really probably would have sold right around 200K, which is still amazing. Still really good. But with that being said, 300,000 of these issues are going to be thrown away. And this leads to this. And we've got about 1,100 to 1,200 of these out there that will never depreciate in value because they are already CGC slabbed. Now, I said I was going to bring up Keanu Reeves once again, and I am. And that's because he did have a very similar variant to sell. And what it was a 1 in 1,000, making it way more rare and way more expensive. It was $3,000. And it wasn't CGC. So you could go, it could get ruined. It's only going to appreciate in value. These will never, ever change. If you are buying these for the spectator market, you are wasting your money. This isn't rare. It's just not. 1,100 of these are not rare. And without the ability to get any sort of damage, it's just not going to ever appreciate and value. Maybe slightly initially, but not after that. And it's really unfortunate. We also see that they're being very deceptive about it. And not Stadium Comics. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Todd McFarlane in general. You can buy one. It's $6. That's not bad at all. But they're also selling packs in order to get the different variants, right? So if you want the Capullo variant, you have to spend $150 and you can get your Capullo variant. And that's great. But it actually counts for 8 sales. 8. And then on top of it, if you want when you get the McFarlane sign variant, it actually counts for 9 sales because you're going to get all the other ones. So one is going to count for 9 or 8, or if you want the all 4 of them. You see what I'm saying? If you want the Sean Gordon Murphy one, it's absolutely getting ridiculous the way that this is doing. I know comics don't sell that great, and I understand that. And I understand that it is a niche market, but doing stuff like this, very, very deceptive, variant issues, variant comics, different, paying different people, is what caused the crash in the 90s. And I think, unfortunately, if anything, we're only inching closer by doing this kind of stuff. This is a big issue. This is the worst I've seen it. And it actually really irritates me because it's such a waste. It is such a waste to see 300,000 copies of this comic go to waste and then have the media and idiots on YouTube going, oh, look, it's outselling everything. Because Todd McFarlane is being so damn deceptive about it. And that's the truth in it. And it's not just Todd McFarlane. He just figured out how to take it to a whole new fucking level. Because this is the first time I've ever seen anything CGC done. A whole new level. At least with Keanu, it was more rare. But this is getting to be an issue. And unless publishers look at it and stop worrying about these short-term gains of a little bit of a media attention and actually look at long-term being able to keep their lines going, because they're going to look and go, okay, 1 sold 500. Why is 3 already down to 50,000? Why is it down to 50,000? Maybe at 6 we should reboot. And then they start all over again. And it's an issue. And it takes readers out. And then you have readers like me who actually want to read it, who actually want to enjoy it, and are simply like, I don't know that I can support something that's going to be the downfall of the industry. I'll probably end up reading it, but it just is, this was taken to a whole new level of deception that I've never seen in the industry before, all because Todd McFarlane wanted to make headlines, but you wanted to screw comic book shops. If you had somebody that just wanted 2 in their shop, they've still got 500 extra copies that have to be thrown away. Like, I always thought it was a cop-out when people would say, well, it sold this. Well, it shipped that. Say it sold 25,000. Well, it shipped 25,000. We don't know how much actually sold. In this case, it's not a cop-out. It is the fucking truth. You're putting this on comic book shops and you don't give a fuck. And that's the issue. And then to add insult to injury, it leads to stuff like Variant Gate, which I could do a whole video on. But you have Walmart selling these exclusives that were supposed to be exclusives and screwing the customer all over again. If you had an exclusive to say Forbidden Planet and you bought it because it was an exclusive and you knew you had something rare and special. Well, now it's at Walmart for 1/10 of the price. And it's an actual issue in the industry that is going to be its downfall if they don't do anything on it. And this is happening it's Demon Days. I don't think that's the Peach Momoko cover, but even so, those are going for a lot. I do know that. But what's the issue with having maybe, let's say, one variant? Why is that obscene? I have no issue with one variant because sometimes I like getting the variant cover. There should be no reason there any more is done than that, because that's when it gets into lines of deception. And this is cross the line to really screwing the customer and the comic book companies and the comic book shop owners. Oh, it's fucking irritating because nobody's going to do anything about it, and nobody's going to change, and it's just going to keep screwing people that read the comics over and over again. And the people that buy this, because it's not going to appreciate in value. Anyways, let me know, of course, what you guys think about this. Like I said, no disrespect to Todd, but he learned how to take a scam to a whole nother level here and just didn't care who he stepped on to do it. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.